I'm so sorry, fam. I don't know. I wanted to go live and it's bright out here. So I have an umbrella, but I put these glasses on and I'm looking at this image and I'm like, Walmart Morpheus? Is that unpolitically correct to say? Bald guy talking about everything we think about reality is a lie. By the way, this is going to trigger everyone. It's especially, I know this. Every time I make a video like this, I get texts from my spiritual friends and they'll say, "Oh, are you okay? Like, you know that this is just a phase you're going through, da 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 da." That's all great. Yeah, no, they're full of shit. So, here's the thing. Every single thing we think about truth, awakening, enlightenment, liberation, the nature of reality is total and utter nonsense. It's nonsense because we're thinking it. There's thought. We're living still in this thought sphere. And the thought sphere is wonderful. It's a dream. It's a matrix. It's its own organismal reality, it feels like. By the way, everything I'm saying is bullshit too, so just throw it away. But hey, we're gonna have fun because Zubin likes to Zubin. So um okay, this was partially triggered, first of all, by just whatever's going on here. Like, stuff just keeps falling away. I get more and more disillusioned in a good way with every teacher, every guru, everything I've read. I even started reading UG Krishnamurti. He showed up in my life somehow, and this was like the anti-guru. He's like, everybody's full of shit. Yeah, this Brahmin Indian, he like sat with Ramana Maharshi, like did all this shit, and then ultimately was like, yeah, I just physically died and you can't do that. And even he, when you read what he's saying, it's total nonsense because he's putting it in words and he's making statements and taking positions, and it's like, there's no position, there's no statements. This is totally unknown. Reality, whatever that is, if there even is such a thing, is unknowable. You will never know it from mind, and mind itself can't be found. You just see thought, 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 thought. So all of human existence is this kind of thought sphere, this delusion sphere. Delusion, I say, because it doesn't have absolute reality, but we take it so damn seriously. So I have to get a job, I have to succeed, I have to get married, I have to have kids, I have to love people. Now, okay, that's all fine. That's like step one. Step two is then you wake up in some spiritual way and you start following Christ, or you follow the Buddha, or you follow whoever, you follow some guru, and you think you've figured it out, you've woken up. And all that's happening is you've substituted one set of delusions for a seemingly nicer one. And these are even more tricky because, oh, I love everyone, it's all unity, everything's energy, like whatever you want to say. It's another story. So you can see how tricky, how devious the entire delusion is. It's a miracle that anyone would be able to see through it. In fact, it doesn't happen at all. People don't see through the delusion. Something maybe stops, maybe, in a manner of speaking, which we can't talk about. And then it's like, okay, so what is this? It's just this organisming, not orgasming, organisming. And it's like, okay, I mean, maybe orgasming, it depends. I mean, I ain't you, bro. Maybe that's what's happening right now. It's not that kind of show. I clicked not made for kids, but that's next level. So the whole thing, you start to realize as you go down this dead end of spirituality. And by the way, whenever I say this, I know I'm going to trigger this big antibody response in the comments of people who are like, he's being solipsistic. I'm like, I don't think you know what that word means. Solipsistic. It means I think I'm the only thing that exists and everything is my projection. In a sense, that's true. But in another sense, I'm not denying that you are there and having an experience. I'm saying all of the experience is a collective thought sphere and an utter delusion, which is fine. You can live your whole apparent life in that. And we do. And in that space, therapy, psychological improvement, evolution of the person, self-help, going back to your childhood, discovering trauma, working through all that, incredibly helpful in the dream state to make the dream a little less of a nightmare. Wonderful, nothing wrong with that. It's not truth in any way though. It's a relative story, like a movie on a screen. Wonderful. So I would never say don't do those things. I would just say, hey, if you're feeling like you've done those things, or you've been called in that way in some way, whatever that means, at some level, you're just like, yeah, and you're still fucking miserable. Like it hasn't helped. Like you've gone and done all the retreats, you've read all the books, you've listened to all the gurus, and it hasn't solved shit. You're still seeking, seeking, seeking. I might have you entertain this notion that perhaps it's the energy of seeking, this thought sphere that tells you it's never enough, I'm not it, I haven't gotten it, one day I'll get it, time, space, all of it. Maybe that's the very veil over the natural functioning of this. And U.G. Krishnamurti talks about that, but then he says a bunch of crazy batshit stuff about all kinds of nonsense. So throw that shit out too. He does say something interesting though, which is every notion you have about awakening and enlightenment is taken from someone else because there's no original thought, because we share this thought sphere. It can't be divided. It's this happening. By the way, even that's a story. We can't prove any of that. We can't know that. But let's use it as a way of speaking because we have nothing else to do. And otherwise this YouTube video would be even lamer than it's gonna be. So because we share all this, the more we read, the more we learn about it, the more we hear about it, the more it subverts us back into the stream, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. It may be a happier dream. You could die as a very self-realized, enlightened being who still doesn't fucking have a clue of what this is, because you can't. And that's all fine. But here anyways, what seems to have happened is I can't believe any of that anymore. And this came to a head. It was really funny and a little bit sacrilegious. So sorry, Catholics out there. I'm not picking on you. I'm not picking on anything. I'm just saying, here's how the delusion shows up. We went to New York, and I'll put out a video at some point with some boring, wasn't a vacation, but boring slides about that. And we sat in so my wife and I walked into St. Patrick's Cathedral on Sunday, not even knowing what was going on, and it was Sunday Mass. And we happened to show up at exactly the right time. So if you haven't been to St. Patrick's Cathedral, it is epic. And Catholicism is like Christianity 1.0. I mean, we're talking like the whole deal, right? This enlightened being, Jesus, came down, said, love thy neighbor, suffering means something, die for your sins, all those things. Lovely, lovely sentiment, right? Forget that it's responsible for God knows how many deaths and suffering and the Inquisition and all that shit. That's fine. Every religion does that, right? Including Zen. You know, Zen and the art, Zen at War was an interesting book. So all that said, we go into the church and it's this majestic thing. And I'm kind of like looking around like, holy shit, this is like overwhelmingly magnificent. And then the priest starts singing, chanting in Latin, and there's all the people sitting there, and you feel this sort of unity energy, this kind of whole thing. And I'm sitting way in the back in a pew. There's nobody else there except for me and my wife. And I couldn't stop fucking laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, wow. Wow. Like human consciousness is amazing. This collective dream that we're in creates this. It's like, oh, humans aren't really, they're not really happy ever. So let's give them something in the future. Let's create an entire religious worldview, an entire spirituality that puts salvation somewhere else. And we'll build these incredible structures, and it'll make you feel, you'll actually experience Christ consciousness. You'll experience unity. You'll have these mystical experiences through prayer, through chanting, through the communion, the community, the whole ritual of it. It's beautiful, actually, on the relative. And the reason I couldn't stop laughing is I was like, wow, this delusion is so beautifully tricky and intelligent, and it's been doing this to us for millennia, keeping us in this dream that you don't even want to escape, because you're like, oh yeah, well now I'm in church, so I'm doing the right thing, I'm a good person, I'm doing all of this. And the same goes for any spirituality. You're gonna go meditate, you're gonna read, you know, about non-duality, oh, everything is, you know, not two, there's no subject, object, all this story. And I'm sitting there going, because I could feel that there's no center to this, that everything is just happening. It's a totally mechanistic unfolding. And I say mechanistic, but it has the wrong connotation. It's not like it's cold and dead. It is life itself, just lifing. And everybody's there thinking, oh, there's heaven and hell and there's this and that. And it's all a story. And it's keeping them in this state where you can spend millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on these beautiful structures in the middle of Midtown Manhattan, and everyone's just just fast fucking asleep. It's great. That's why I was laughing. I was like, this is ingenious. This is absolutely incredible. It's beautiful. But then, strangely, I started crying. And I'm like, well, now what's going on? And I could feel all the suffering that comes from the delusion. Because this is something that is another experience, which is pure suffering. The suffering of always wanting, the suffering of the guilt and the shame of not being good. The classic Catholic guilt. Then all the suffering of the thousands of priests throughout history who've molested and raped young children. And all this stuff that we would say, oh, it's bad. But in duality, with every bad, there's a good. So there's a wonderful good and there's a terrible bad. So what happens when that duality just drops and the center goes, you don't do this because you can't? Well, there's just this natural movement. And the natural movement was tears in the church, because it's known what suffering is in the truest sense. And it's known also the cause of suffering. And it's felt to be pretty fucking hopeless. Like, it is really beyond hope for the individual to wake up from that. You can't do it. You can't. The one who's trying to do it is the problem, apparently. It's the movement of energy that is constantly seeking. And I say this from years of going through this. And it's still falling apart. It's still falling apart. Still falling apart. And I don't know how that happened. I can't say I did that. In fact, the minute I say I did that, it becomes mine, and then there's a feeling of of contraction, which is also just another experience. So in the end, you have to there's nothing that you have to do, because any instructions for this don't make sense, because they're going to create a seeker. They're creating a problem you have to do something about. So you see the challenge talking about this. So why am I doing this? No clue. Just because I can. And I know the comments are going to be fucking terrible. And it makes me giggle, because I know that, of course, the delusion has its own continuity. It has its own stability. It has its own rules. And if any apparent being comes up and says these things, that none of this, it's not even that it's real or unreal. It's off the map of that. Nothing you can know about this is true. No thought is true. They're just, and yet thought creates its own continuity that perpetuates this dream state and the suffering therein. So that's the catch. If there's suffering for you, sometimes just being told to fucking stop might not be a bad thing. May not do anything. But that's what it feels like. It's like, what the fuck? We build these churches, and then we reject religion. So we say, okay, religion's bullshit. So then we become atheists. Another belief. There's no God. There's only science. It's like, okay, so how's that worked out for your suffering? Now you just think you're better than people who are religious, but you're the same. It's all the same. It's one delusion. It's like the delusion. If you could personify the delusion itself, human consciousness, this construct, this Maya, this illusion, it's not really an illusion, because it's apparent. This is it. It's very hard to talk about. So how do I say this? When this itself starts to be questioned or threatened in any way, it just puts a new spin. It's like, okay, here's atheism. Okay, here's science. Okay, here's spirituality without religion. So here's enlightenment, waking up, shifts, energetic openings, identity changes. I'm not this, I'm consciousness. I'm not all the stuff that people talk about. And people talk about it very innocently because they've had those experiences. I've had those experiences. I've had all of them. It's ridiculous. And every time you have one, you think, this is it. This is the permanent shift that I've been waiting for. And you know, in the back, there's the seeking apparatus that's still going, oh, but this will go too. And it does, because nothing is permanent in the experiential realm. This is beyond, prior to, out of the sphere of experience. And that's why you can't talk about it. And yet it's there. This is how the natural functioning is. And so that natural functioning is often at odds with what the spiritual people tell you. Oh, you know, everything is love, everything is bliss. You know, I've talked about the threads model with Pierce and done all these things. That's all fun, wonderful, fucking intellectual masturbation. It has nothing to do with this. Absolutely nothing. Every video I've ever done with any spiritual person, you know, it's a beautiful story, and maybe it helped something open. I don't know. It's great. People have told me it's helped them. Wonderful. Why would I take that away? I can't take it away because it seemingly helped this person. But from here now, it's like, nope, that's more of this. It's more of the story. It's more me breaking out into laughter and tears in St. Patrick's Cathedral on a holy Sunday day of Mass. Drop all the fucking holy bullshit. There's nothing holy. Everything is just what it is. In that sense, everything's holy, if you want to use those words. So, you know, then of course the comments will light up, well, this is nihilism, this is amorality, would all be psychopaths. Why? That's a story too. Like, I would find it really hard to hurt somebody because why? Why would you do it? There's no person here to protect, but there is this movement of patterning that happens. And so that movement will naturally protect itself. It will get angry and it will release anger when there isn't this secondary layer of thought thinking it's controlling this, judging it. I shouldn't get angry. I'm a spiritual person. Oh, I should feel love for everyone. I should practice compassion. I should do those things. That's wonderful. If that works for you, great, man. Who am I to say anything? Never fucking did shit for me. Compassion, if I'm going to use that word, arises naturally when you see the delusion and see how it generates suffering in you and others, and then the you and others disappears, and there's just what is. And that what is, you could label as compassion. Pure unconditional acceptance of what is with total neutrality, even when that neutrality looks like anger. That neutrality looks like love. That neutrality looks like excitement. That neutrality looks like humor. It looks like, so all this trying to be spiritual and, you know, sitting there with the, you know, the eyes. I did a video recently saying, you know, this whole thing's a collective delusion. And when I was speaking in that video, people thought that I was AI because it was like this. Everything you know about spirituality is passed on from other people, and it's a collective delusion. And in that relaxed actual state, the eyes just glaze fucking over because you're not actually focusing or paying attention. The words are coming from nowhere. The mouth is moving. The organism is organisming. That's it. And guess what? Guess fucking what? That looks like AI. You know why? Because we are no different than the construction of AI that we've built. Thoughts strung together from prior causes and conditions that are very large, that we couldn't understand with our feeble intellect. And so we are really just walking AI. So AI is no different in that sense. We're not conscious. You think there's consciousness. Oh, I'm aware of that thing I'm calling tree, of this trail. I'm aware that I'm outside. Nope, nope, nope. This is all those words are just coming out. These are all phenomenal appearances. And it strings together in the apparent reflective sphere of thought, which is another phenomenon, as some subject and object with free will doing stuff. It's not. And again, I can't even really say that, because anything I say, I can't say anything with certainty. I could just say in the unknown, which is this, can't say a word about it. And yet people, and including me, say a shit ton of words about it. And honestly, from here now, that shit seems harmful. It seems that way from here, because when this is understood in that way by no one, because you just go, okay, so people are talking about awakening, they're talking about shifts, they're talking about even people who are talking about dying. Oh, I died, or I went through the death process, and you don't know what it's like if you don't go through it. So you're gonna judge me, and you're gonna judge this as crazy and all that. Like, I find myself saying things like that too. It's total bullshit. There's no death process. You were never alive in the way you think. You never existed in that way that this storyland reflective thought sphere seemingly puts it together. So what's to die? What's to change? In other words, what is to progress in any way? There's nothing at all happening in that way. But people go and make videos saying this happened and that happened, and then I do the same thing. But I'm telling you, it's bullshit. Stop. It's total nonsense. Talk about anything you want. Like, I can talk about, oh, Vinay Prasad, was made to resign from FDA. It's like, okay, we could talk for hours about that. We might when Vinay comes back and we do a VPZD show. Do I truly care about it? Not a whit, because I know it doesn't, none of this it's all a story. But it's fun. What else is there to do? This constellation of shit likes to do that, and it's apparently kind of good at it. So put on the fucking Walmart Morpheus glasses and speak your fucking truth. It makes no difference. But it is kind of fun, and it's really funny. It's really funny. Like sitting in St. Patrick's Cathedral, looking at the majesty and listening to the Latin and watching the people bowing their heads and taking communion. Oh man, that shit is funny. It's funny and tragic and beautiful and all the things, and it's all part of this dream state. So fuck it. People are gonna get so mad because we're just gonna, when this is believed, you gotta fight for that shit. What you believe, you gotta fight for it. I couldn't give a shit, honestly. Like, if someone today showed me that I'm totally wrong about this in a believable way, I'd be like, oh, good, okay, I don't have to, I'll believe that then. It doesn't even matter. Like, it's whatever this thing's gonna do. We have no control of it. The organism is just doing its thing. Whatever that is, even organism's a story, but you feel a pattern, a sensation, there's behavior apparently, there's all kinds of shit. But I'll say, what we're calling tree, what we're calling ocean, that's just words. Like, what that is not, you can't say a word about it. It's a complete unknown. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can see some comments. Shodo says, when you say everything we think about reality is a lie, do you mean physical matter, forces, energy, or do you mean spirituality is nonsense? I mean all of it. And I don't mean a lie, because who's lying? It's nonsense, meaning it has nothing to do with anything. It has no objective truth at all. It's a story. It's an appearance like a movie. It'd be like believing the movie was real. And there's nothing wrong with that unless it's causing you terrific suffering, and for many it does. Or honestly, you're just somebody who happens to be wired in some way, whatever that means, to not accept this paradigm of truth and be looking for what truth is. And then you go down this horrible, fucking painful path, the spiritual journey, this horrible, painful fucking journey of disillusionment. You find something, I found a teacher that helps me. Oh, I went to a retreat and I feel this expansion. I feel love. That's gonna last, and it doesn't. And oh yeah, the suffering. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, insight. Everything is empty. It's totally empty. It has no substance. It's just an appearance. Oh, and 5 seconds later, this shit is real as fuck. All it takes is someone cuts you off in traffic and that shit is real as fuck. And then you're like, fuck. And then you realize, oh, that person, that teacher's sleeping with his fucking students or her students. And that one, fucking, you meet them in person and they're a total shithead and they're a fucking mess. And you're like, nobody's got this shit figured out because we're still in this fucking chaos space, this collective delusion, which is fine. How do you escape it? You can't. So science is another story. It's a good story that actually makes a lot of things happen and work, like this phone and our ability to do this. Like, fucking great. Yay, science. I was a huge science guy. I still am. I mean, I think it's not like I'm going to deny this shit actually has some relative function. It does. Just like thought has a relative function. You can pull up everything you've learned and use it to fucking move shit around in the dream. That's a big deal. It sure seemingly beats living on a pile of trash, or does it? Because when that center really isn't there and everything relaxes, a pile of trash or fucking affluence, it's really not different. The only thing is the organism, this, is gonna move to survive. It's gonna do what it needs to do. So it's gonna eat trash or it's gonna eat filet mignon. What humans love to do is there's a secondary layer, this thought sphere, that creates a kind of sense of ownership of experience, that there's an experiencer, that there's control, that there's a path, that there's progression, that there's a future where things will be better, and there's a past where I done fucked up, or I did the right thing, or whatever, or there's a present where I need to be here now. What the fuck does that mean? How are you gonna do that? There is no here and now. Try to find it. It's a total mystery. Try to find the sense of I am, that you even exist. Try to find it, pin it down, look for it. I'll wait. You'll say, oh, I feel like I'm this vast sphere of unbound consciousness. Okay, that's a thought. You know that, right? That's another phenomenal appearance. What this is total, absolute unknowability, the unknown in the purest sense. And the movement of mind that wants to be better, that wants to be awake, that wants to be liberated, that wants to be Christ consciousness realized, that wants to go to heaven, that wants to avoid hell, is the very movement that is the cloud of forgetting of what this is, which is unknowable. Can't forget what you never knew. You can't live a life if you are already dead, which is a good paradigm for this. Like, this is what happens when you're dead. This is what it looks like. That's a way to look at it. Not literally, but literally. Doesn't even make sense because it can't. Let's see. True, says Mouse Police. Have fun in the story, otherwise you'll go nuts. Yes. So here's the thing. So I'm not advocating anything, honestly. I should advocate for myself to shut the fuck up. I am saying, to play in this dream, we have no choice. To escape the dream, you gotta go isolate yourself from all of humanity and all of human consciousness, which can't be done. And you will A, go crazy, because this is our conditioning. This is the realm we're playing in, to use that language, which makes no sense. And you have to function. So you wanna end up in a loony bin, say the kind of shit I'm saying with absolute determination, and live from a complete not caring about what society wants to do. And some people actually seem to advocate that. You know, they make videos saying, you know, humanity is sick and you just need to, you know, die and detach from it and pull away from it. And sure, maybe that's true, but good luck feeding yourself, because you're still feeding yourself doing something. You have to play in this sandbox. So I'll tell you just what Zubin, this, has decided to do is fucking have a great time. Like, I worked very hard, apparently, for a long time. Saved up some money. So now I can sit around making crazy ass fucking videos and don't care about whether anyone watches or not. I see my subscribers like drop. I see like comments are crazy. I see people saying, why don't you make more music videos? You were so much fun back then. It's like, sure, that was fun. I'm glad I did that. That Zubin was hilarious to me because that's my sense of humor. Maybe that'll happen again. Maybe we'll do VPZD. Maybe I'll do some rants on fucking RFK Jr. and his crazy ass crazy. Or maybe none of that shit matters because things are stable enough now where you could just say, okay, I'm just gonna allow this to play out. And sometimes that means go to a bar with your wife and have cocktails and do people watching. Sometimes it means worry arises for your kids because my daughter right now is flying by herself at 17, which is great, from JFK Airport to SFO, where we'll pick her up tonight because she did a summer program at Barnard College with Columbia in New York. And so maybe there's a touch of concern arises, like, oh, she's flying alone. She's never done that. Like, hopefully everything's going okay. Well, you check in, you do the things, you play it out. You don't try to resist what is and try to detach and generate false equanimity or a sense of unconditional love that you're trying to generate through practice. I mean, maybe for some people that's gloriously nice. And I have a lot of friends that for whom that's been very helpful. And they're lovely humans to talk to. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Beautiful people. I've done videos with many of them. They're absolute superb humans. So in this dream, they've polished it beautifully and they've seen through the dream too. And that's how they want to be. That's great. I would never say don't do that. But I will say that's not going to cause anything. It's not going to cause you to see through the dream. It's not going to cause you to get enlightenment. It's not going to cause you to be liberated. It can't, because the very seeking of the cause and the seeking of liberation is the apparent obstacle. If I can even speak in that way, because it doesn't even make sense, because nobody wakes up. There's no, what is realized is this just isn't. And then people say, look at this AI. Like they literally thought I was an AI saying this stuff, because just turn off the entire selfing mechanism, let it relax, and just let the words come out. And it looks like AI. Why? Because that's what this organism is. It's just, that's the process. It's all just phenomena playing out. There's no controller of it. There's no direction that I can find to it. There's no evolution of it. None of it. So if that's true, people would say, oh, that's pretty nihilistic. Or you could say, well, we don't fucking get a second chance. So don't be a dick. Just natural compassion. Maybe don't nuke people. It's a bad idea. Hiroshima anniversary. So this is what it's like for me nowadays. Hiroshima anniversary comes up, 80th anniversary. I read an article about one of the survivors who photographed on the day of the blast, like the only known photographs of Hiroshima on the day of the blast. People, middle school students standing on a bridge near the epicenter of the thing. And it looks like they're wearing rags, but it's actually skin sloughing off their bodies. And this guy said that he only took a few pictures because he felt so much hurt and shame walking through his town. He said there was a bus, a streetcar full of bodies whose clothes had been burned off. And he couldn't take a picture because he felt it was shameful. And so this kind of thing, like even talking about it, you can feel the body light up with sadness, horror, disgust, shame that humans can do this to each other. And it's felt fully. It's felt fully in the body, and it's released. And so how can you say there's nihilism and there's detachment in the realization that everything we can say about reality is bullshit, when it's allows the natural sensitivity of whatever this is to just be what it is without a secondary layer of thought, making it into something, making it into, well, now I must become an anti-nuclear activist or some shit like that. Maybe that arises. Maybe that's part of your body's natural functioning. It's not mine. So am I going to sit here feeling guilty that I'm not doing something about the doomsday clock clicking to fucking midnight? No, that's not what Zubin does. Zubin makes stupid fucking videos about nothing. Pisses people off. Always has done that. Brown's Judenhunds says, are you a Jew? I don't know if this is an anti-Semitic account or a pro-Semitic account. It doesn't matter, it's all bullshit. This whole story, Jew, Arab, all that, look what it leads to. That's a wonderful story, isn't it? There's religion, there's ancestry, there's race, there's culture, there's history. All of it's a fucking story that leads to immeasurable suffering in the dream. Fucking let it all go. Let it fucking go. If you can. You can't. Of course you can. Because you are the programmed conditioning of the AI that is you. So you're going to leave a comment, are you a Jew? It feels vaguely anti-Semitic. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the account is like, hey, you're a Jew. I'm not Jewish. I'm Zoroastrian. Well, by birth. But what I am, I couldn't say a word about it. I don't know what I am. It's all a story. Am I supposed to tell you, oh, I'm a agnostic spiritual seeker? I'm all that fucking is nonsense. Read the title of my fucking video and shut the fuck up. Let's see. Boomer, says Ronnie Ann. That's a compliment. I'm not a boomer, I'm a Gen Xer, but I do appreciate the generalized narcissism of the boomers. By the way, boomer is not a single entity. The boomer generation is spread out over many, many years, so there are many subgroups within boomers. This was pointed out to me, and they're all very different, stereotypically. Let's see. Are you male or female, says Eric Berman. Oh, hi, Eric. Well, the conditioning is male. I am attracted to things that I feel are biologically female. The story that has been told is that I like guy things, but I also have a fair bit of feminine energy that arises. So that's just the observation of how this seems to work. I also don't give a fuck what people want to do with their identity and all that. It's all a story. Let them do what they want. Just, understand that I may fuck up your pronouns because I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm just not that smart. Jeremy says, you'd be the most interesting grandpa. Oh, dude. Try being a dad. My kids are just like, what the fuck is dad talking about now? My favorite comments are the ones that are like, I'd hate to be your children having such a solipsistic, nihilistic father. I grieve for their upbringing. And it's like, dude, these are the fucking most well-balanced, happiest kids I've met. But of course, I usually meet the anxious kids that are on Klonopin and shit. Because I live in the Bay Area, which is a fucking shit heap of neurosis. Guys, this place sucks so much. Can I just rant? Let me rant for a second. I just came back from New York. New York is amazing. It's like a huge mass of people. There's a sense of cohesion and unity there, even though there's so much diversity. Here, it's the opposite. You just feel the like narcissistic, empty striving of people that pretend they're not rich, but really want to be richer, that are fucking panicked. I mean, this is in New York too, but I could feel it here because I lived here for so long. And it is just a poisonous shit sphere of this. But then you have like this fucking beauty, like this total beauty. I mean, the weather right now, it's like 70. Like this is summer. It's beautiful. So I'm willing, because I can kind of see this thoughts. This is another advantage of just being able to see through the fucking, that everything is bullshit. It doesn't matter how these people are, because I know it's a story. So then it's just this. Like, sometimes I can participate in this story if I want to. Why not? These comments are funny, man. I'm getting some fascinating people here. What is bro on about? I don't even fucking know. Das Jeet. It's a good name. Mouse Police says, he's not a narcissist, he's an MD. Same difference. Oh man. I tell you, people like, it's fucking the whole doctor thing. Ugh. I don't even want to get started on that shit, but we are our own delusion. I tell you, we're our own story, and we do a lot of good and we do a lot of harm. We perpetuate just terrible ideas about things because we're part of that collective illusion. By the way, anytime more than one person gets together with another person, it instantiates like this demon. This egregore is the word for it. It's almost like another conscious entity to use that language. It's dream stuff, right? This is all story. But, you know, so like conservatives instantiate that egregore, liberals instantiate this egregore, and those demons go to fight in this virtual space. It's really funny. So doctors instantiate the kind of physician egregore, and it goes to war with the nurse practitioner egregore, or the anti-vaxxer egregore, or whatever the fuck. And it's all just fucking hilarious and stupid and pointless. But that's what we do. We spin our wheels, circle jerking each other, fucking, I agree with you. Yeah, we're in the same tribe. Lots of fun. Total nonsense. Total bullshit. Scroll down. Andrew Mashburn says, what is good and what is harm? I have no fucking idea, but I'll tell you what I want, what wants to come out of my mouth. When we stop thinking about good and harm, when we stop thinking about right and wrong, when we stop obsessing about me and that, white and black, all that shit, when that drops as a construct, it seems the natural course would be what you might define as good in the old construct. It just seems to go that way. But as long as you're looking for good, there's going to be bad. As long as you're judging bad, you will create what you think is good, and you'll fight for it. And it's that very fight that perpetuates the bad. It's a doom loop of this thought sphere. Is this duality of good and bad, harm and not harm, compassion and hate, love and fucking hate. They go hand in hand. You fall in love with someone, hate is not far behind. That's just how it is. It's total nonsense. Let's see. DeWitt Martin says, I hope that my doctor cares only about proven medical procedures and not trying to self-cuck some esoteric shit while I'm on the table. I hope your doctor does too. Luckily, I will never be your doctor because I don't practice medicine currently. Because I did that for many years and I went by the book, evidence-based medicine. I would ridicule anyone who said otherwise at the time. And from here, it's like, well, I don't know anything. How can I profess to like help someone medically beyond regurgitating what they could learn through AI and through my own experience, which maybe it's helpful, maybe it's harmful. So for me, I can't do it anymore, which is fine. It turned out to be convenient because I was able to do it for many years and in good conscience and feeling I'm doing good. And I have no idea if I was doing good or bad because it's hard to really, how would I even tally that up? Yeah, those are the other comments that I get are like, I hope you never become my doctor. And I'm like, well, good fucking luck. I would never be your doctor, dick. Even if I were a doctor, I'd be like, you're fired. You suck. Fuck all you guys. That's the other thing is like, zero fucks are given. Because like if like Zubin is very conditioned to talk about myself in the third person, like, he doesn't like certain things. He doesn't like certain people. There's none of this unconditional love for certain personality patterns. Like, they suck. I don't like borderline personality disorder. I don't like narcissistic personality disorder, even though I'm probably guilty of it. I don't like people who are Enneagram type 1 self-righteous fucking cunts. I don't like that either. And now I'm just gonna say it, because who cares? It's not like it's gonna change anything. It's not like it has any absolute reality. It's just fun. And it feels good to fucking authentically say what is arising. So yeah, all you like fucking e-patients out there who are like, this doctor sucks. Suck a dick. Suck a bag of dicks. Like a whole bag. Also, my mother no longer watches my YouTube because for some reason her iPad like glitched and the algorithm doesn't feed them to her anymore. So I can say all this shit without having to deal with a phone call on the weekend where she's like, you know, you shouldn't say bag of dicks. Bag of dicks is a very offensive thing. You know, in India, they never had bags of dicks. They had individual dicks. And the whole bag of dick, who needs that? It's such an American thing, like a supermarket. Who needs so many dicks? Nobody, okay? I'd say, well, I've seen some OnlyFans where many dicks are required to satisfy a certain Guinness Book of World Records. So sometimes you need a bag of dicks. Angie Mack You sound almost as charming as my husband. To quote Nick Cage, that's high praise. Jeremy Jumper. I was talking to Das Lied. That's good. God bless your mom, says Juliet. Yeah, I know, she's amazing, actually. Let's see. Eric Berman, man. So Eric is like one of these guys who wears his conservatism and libertarianism or whatever the fuck ism on his sleeve whenever he comments. It's enjoyable. Enjoyable to watch. It's been a minute though, Eric. Latrice, good and bad are complicated concepts. Helping one thing takes away from another thing. You have to forgive people their differences. I don't know what you have to do. I just know that it's a fool's errand, seemingly, from here. And I only know that because that's what I experience. So when that drops, it's like, oh, that's a huge relief. It's not like I'm gonna go murder people, because that shit sucks. It's just obvious. You just don't, why would you do that? For whose benefit is that? Dale says, there's no good or bad. It's just ego to exercise the side we feel. Well, that is ego. Ego is the movement of judging good and bad. It is the movement of making sense of this. It is the movement of trying to find permanence in something that is obviously impermanent. The minute you look, you realize there's nothing. You can't even say it's happening because it's that impermanent. So, you know. All right, gang, I think we did a thing. I don't know what we did. It's gonna piss everybody off. Everyone can suck a dick, except for you and you and you. Are there any takeaways? No, because I don't know what I'm talking about. This is unknowable. All your spiritual pursuits are bullshit unless you enjoy them, in which case enjoy the dream. It's great. It'll make you a nicer dream character. No reason not to, unless you're suffering and it's not helping and you're wondering why. You're doing all the things and it's still not helping, and between you, me, and the infinite knowing, not knowing of this, just stop. Stop. Drop it all. All right, gang, I love you. Maybe. I don't know what that means. Peace out.